but then something really weird and sad happened.
Yeah, you notice I'm already quiet because I know it's the next topic.
Yeah, I know. But would it possible to talk a bit about it? Because it's really frightening, sad.
Yeah.
What happened?
All the things. I'll try and just put the emotions deep down and talk about it as like facts.
And if not, we cut, we make a break, and we say whatever.
So it was, things were going really well, and I had booked a lot of events. I had just booked a few really big corporate events, and we're making a lot of money. This is great. We're busy. We have, hired some help finally. But I was in the kitchen during a big event. A group had just arrived, and someone came to say, "I smell gas down the hill." And I was like, "I'm busy. Just leave me alone. What can I do?
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like I am the owner. I need to take this guest seriously and show that he is heard and see if I can figure out the problem. And I can't say anything about that decision or whatever because I made it.
Yeah, it does smell like gas
when you
often.
Turn it on.
Because there's something in the gas that when it burns it trace and it goes up the chimney and some weather condition push it down so you can smell that. It's not the actual gas, but in this case, it was. But sometimes we hear and we're like, okay, but
it's so I didn't feel any danger. I just felt like, okay, I'll go see if the knobs are in the right direction just to make sure. So I went down there and I looked at it and I said,
and it was in the house.
Not really. It's kind of behind the house,
but in the area.
Mm-hmm. And everything looked the way I knew it to be, the direction to be. And then I said, I can't do anything, whatever. And I shut the door and I walked out 5 steps or so, and the room blew up, and I was blown. It was like an action movie explosion. I was in that, and I got thrown to the ground, and then I was on fire. And I thought that I was dead at first. I just, how a mummy looks when you unwrap it. That's how I felt. I just felt dry and crisp and black and.
You were conscious all the time.
The whole time.
All the time. Oh, wow. And you felt the pain all the time.
Mm-hmm. It was very hot.
Oh.
So I had somehow, my back was to the explosion and it was really loud, and I went like this just in time, which saved my face because I had no skin on my hands. So that would have been my face if I hadn't been able to do that. And then, I just, you have all of these sudden thoughts. My first thought was just my kids were not with me, and I'm so glad I was alone. That's it. Because Leon was just not even, how old was he? Just a year at that point. And they never wear clothes, so I always had him on my hip, just in a little diaper, and I couldn't, the pain that I had, the physical pain that I had, and the emotional torment I went through, during the hospital experience. Fine, I'll take it again, but I cannot see my child go through that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all. I'm grateful for that, at least. So, and then I don't know how long it was, but someone came with a bucket of water, and more people came with water, and they took off my sweater, which was melted to my skin, and they were like, okay, get up and walk. And I thought they were insane. Like, I cannot walk, I'm dead, you know? Like, it's not possible.
You could talk.
I don't know, actually. I don't know if yeah, I could talk eventually, but my lips were really swollen and hurt. I mean, at that moment right after, I do remember talking and saying, I don't know. Yeah, I could talk. I remember when you came in, I talked to you. But
Did you soon heard about the accident? Was it a short time that you were alert?
Yeah, I was also.
Did
I
you
was
hear
in there
it?
parking. I heard a boom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
from
like,
way over there, and like,
it was. I didn't realize it was an accident, and then somebody came. Hey, there's an explosion, and then everybody went crazy because I'm the owner.
Yes.
So everybody's yelling at me.
Yeah.
This is a death trap. Everybody's in shock and like blaming me, and I was like,
Yeah. But
here's
at what point did you realize that she's in danger?
Then a girl, friend of mine came. They just arrived the same day to visit me, and then this shit happened. And then she comes to me and she's like, Rasmus, you gotta come. You gotta, there's something, you gotta come. And then she took me inside one of the apartments into the shower, where Stephanie was in a shower with a little clothes on, and there was a lot of people, and I was like, what's going on here?
And is it the right thing to put water on a was this correct?
There was one of the guests was a paramedic, whatever, like an ambulance
Okay.
guy, and
he
So the
said,
first aid was okay.
I think they shifted to doing something with towels, wet towels,
Yeah.
so it's not like cold water or something. I
Yeah.
don't know, but she was in the shower when I saw her with the cold water,
Yeah.
and I
You
was
were-
in shock. I'm still in shock. a
Yeah.
little bit. Like I didn't
Wow.
go deep and
Yes, of course.
like work on my trauma part of it. So.
But
It's-
you were very soon involved,
Yeah.
and you
yeah.
were not alone, not too long alone in this situation. There were soon people.
no, and when
Was it
it
full of
happened, I
guests?
was we had like 70 people here, so
Uh-huh.
they started to bring me buckets, and then the paramedic came.
Ambulance came, fire trucks.
But wait, when the paramedic, he was a guest, and he said, is there a shower can you walk to a shower, because we need constant cold water on you, because the burn will get deeper and deeper,
Okay.
and it will
To
get
stop
worse
this
and worse.
and to stop this.
Yeah,
that-
so if you
okay.
put the cold water on it, and I was like, can I just get a bucket of cold water to put in the things? And he was like, no, because then it will get warm again because your hand is fire. So it just had to stand on so I stood there for, it had to have been at least half an hour, just standing so I walked to the shower, and I was there in my underwear, I don't know how, and I never opened my eyes. Because I couldn't, they were just burned shut, and I looked a little bit at my hands, but that was it. And I was like, okay, I don't need to see anything else anymore. And I just stood there, and it was a very horrible experience.
Yes, of
Burning,
course.
but also
No words.
freezing. I'm just,
No words.
I mean, how long can you stay in a freezing cold shower? Yeah, not long. Without, it was just like breathing and stuff.
Did you recognize that he came?
Yeah, they're like, Rasmus is here.
Was there some kind of relief a little bit?
Yeah, because everyone else was a stranger.
Yes. That
And
was
it felt like the room was so full.
Yeah.
And I'm just there in my underwear in the
happened
worst
just-
pain
Yeah.
imaginable. There was one other woman that came who was like, you're a mother, like you've been through some sort of experience of your body, you know, just trying to help me to remember
To encourage you.
breathe, or that I could get through this also.
Then you came to the hospital?
Yeah, then the ambulance came and I walked out to the ambulance, and then I didn't open my eyes really again, but it seemed like there were just tons of people.
It was right there in the road, and there was like
Just
full of people.
and I'm walking out like, and it's just like to this huge crowd around the ambulance.
And you were by her side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
And the kids were somewhere?
My friend was here, so they were with him.
Okay. They
They
were
still,
safe.
they still remembered though. They didn't see her with the ambulance, but all the power, they cut all the power, so it was dark everywhere. And there was no, like, they turned off gas, electricity, and stuff, so.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, the dark night with the ambulance.
Yeah.
They were like,
they had this little owl night light. That's the only light that worked. And then they still talk about it.
Yeah.
And they were so little. They remembered all. And
But it was good that they didn't see you, I guess. Yeah.
I got in the ambulance,
Mhm.
and I cannot speak any Italian at that point. And I asked someone to ask, where are we going? How long does it take? Because by then I felt strong again. And I was like, I'll be back for dinner to work the dinner shift. I was like, I'll be back. Like,
Really?
yes.
You didn't realize
It was a
how
complete
many,
180. I had no
how much, you have no idea.
I
You have
had
no
no
idea.
idea. I was just
the
like,
minute
okay,
they gave her the,
You had,
I don't know.
Yeah,
the first
Maybe.
thing, morphine, whatever,
yeah,
painkiller,
yeah.
Okay, back to work.
I was
You're
in the
okay.
ambulance, and I know like they shut the door and they said, okay, it's going to be like 45 minutes or something. And then I passed out. Like, I don't remember driving at all more than, 10 seconds. So they put me to sleep, and I didn't wake up for like a week or a little bit over a week. And that's when the real nightmare started. So I was on morphine, and I had these horrible visions that I thought were real. And that was a huge struggle, because I thought I was all alone in the world, because nobody was helping me in my visions, not even him. And he was making fun of me. He was like, and he was sleeping with the nurses, like, in front of me while I'm in, like...
So like a horror trip.
It was... I mean, I can't... There's, like, too many details to explain, just, like, how horrible it was. Like, the experience I thought I was having.
And there was no bridge to the real life, to the reality. So you were in your cocon.
Not for a while.
You were in your
while I
cocon, and for you it was real. But nobody else could told you that you was just in a trip.
When I did, when I was awake, I was still on the trip, because like one of the nurses called one of my friends, and so I could talk with her or whatever. And she's like, okay, well, I'll call Rasmus and we'll like get something set up. And I was like, no, don't call Rasmus. He's gone insane. We're getting a divorce. He's cheating on me. Like,
You believed
all these
it?
things. Yeah.
Because for you it was real.
Yeah, I thought they were trying to kill me and sell my organs, and I thought my kids were outside of my window, which I didn't even have a real window to the outside, but I thought I could see my kids outside there, and they were hungry, and they were pooping, they were dirty, and they were just like, mommy. And I asked the nurse, like, why can't you do something, And I remember her saying, like, it's not real. I know it feels real to you, but it's not real. And then eventually, once like they started taking the drugs down, I realized that the ambulance sound was what I thought was mommy, mommy. And how many times do you hear an ambulance at the hospital? A lot.
But this morphine like helps you to don't feel the pain.
Pain reliever.
Yeah, because that's another story, I guess. The physical pain.
And it wasn't all bad. I remember one time where I could see like the whole world on the wallpaper, and I remember asking him, like, "Can you see things in the wallpaper?" And what did you say? Do you remember? He said, he was like, "Yeah, some things." And I remember feeling so bad for him. Like, you can't see it. It's the most beautiful thing. Like, because I could see the whole world, and I could zoom into different parts of the world, and then in different parts of the ocean, and see like mermaids. It was like amazing. I think that was the only nice thing that ever happened to me there.
And how many times have you been to the hospital?
I was there for 3 months before I came home, and they put me to sleep pretty much every day and under anesthesia to get things taken care of and cleaned. But then I would have to go back to the hospital twice or 3 times a week, and it's a 2-hour drive each way. And
the hospital is in Florence.
Pisa.
And Pisa.
They have a burn unit there. Yeah, I was in a lot of pain all the time. I couldn't walk. I was in a diaper. I couldn't feed myself. Everything. I was just in bandages, like completely.
Yes, I once saw one picture.
Yeah.
I was really, it touched me so much because I'm a mother as well. At this point, touched me that much because, yeah. And what about you? How you saw her at the hospital?
Yeah, it was crazy.
And the work here has to continue.
Yeah, we
Or
did.
Did you stop?
Yeah, no, we had to cancel some guests. We had another corporate coming the next week, but we didn't have any gas. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any. I didn't have any wife. I was like, whatever. We canceling. I was just like a mess. They came up. Hey, what? I was like, I don't care.
Is it because
I don't care.
something
Sue me,
was
do what you
more
want.
important? You have more other
I'll try to pay you
priorities.
back, but now I gotta take care of my wife.
Yeah.
She's in hospital. I got 2 kids.
Yeah. Were you able to take care of the kids, or were you just somewhere else? Were you just in your bubble, in your pain? Because I guess
I was trying to work,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like not functioning. So actually, I fell down from a shipping container like 5 days after.
A container, this huge container.
Yeah, two. I was on the ladder and it slipped and I fell like flat and hit my head. And I was already in shock, and I was like, luckily my friend was here and my mom flew in the same day and was here for like 3 months.
Okay.
Taking care of the kids and me. And I was in shock.
Thankful.
When I first saw her, I was like, I don't know, it's weird. It's strange.
Yeah. Have you ever had therapy after? Trauma therapy afterwards?
I did a little bit in the hospital. I did in Italy. I tried it once and I didn't like that person. It's like, okay.
In
just
which
go.
what language?
They tried to do English.
Okay.
And then when I went to the hospital, so I never healed in Italy. So we, in months and months, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months, then we finally got me to Denmark, and I was able to heal.
They kept ripping off the new skin with the bandages. I was like,
Every time.
It was like they had this like bandage and then they were like rip it off.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
He would take me to the hospital, and I would lay
That was
on the
the-
bed, and I would like.
that was the worst.
And they would just rip off all the bandages and rip off all the skin again and again.
Like they took the skin from the leg, and that place wouldn't heal.
Yeah.
And
all
then they
this
wanted to move new
skin
skin
that
to
they
that,
put here.
the old like, they would take new donor skin to the donor side. I was like, you guys are doing something wrong.
I freaked out one night. I overheard them tell him that, and I was like, no,
No.
because when does that end? I will have no skin left. I will only have wounds. And then what are you gonna do? No.
Yeah, and they tried to make me sign something, and I was like, no, I'm not signing anything more. Then she woke up from one of the anesthesias with like pigskin stapled to her legs, and none
Pigskin.
pigskin, like bacon,
Yeah.
basically. Like you want pigskin stapled to your skin? No. I mean, and I was like, I was googling like, this is not how you do it. This is how you do it. I bought these like gel pads.
Just
where you-
kept ordering stuff.
I was trying to solve this shit. It was like,
Yeah.
because these guys didn't. They would come at 6 a.m. Oh, now it's morning, and they were like, turn on the light, and like clap, and like wake up, and she was like, this is starting to heal.
Can't I sleep and?
Can you just have like,
Because
there's like beeping and popping, and I was like,
I never sleep.
dying people next to her, like, like. So I was like, okay, let's go back to Denmark,
Yeah.
and that's my regret that we didn't do that like straight away.
Then you went to Denmark, and then it was better.
Yeah, I equated from leaving hell and going to heaven. I mean, my experience in the Italian hospital, it was just a nightmare. And I know that they did a good job, like in some ways. Like I do feel bad saying that, and there were good people there. But yeah, I never healed. I never slept. I never ate protein. They didn't allow. I didn't see my kids for months. I wasn't allowed visitors. Only a few hours a day, and only one at a time. Both my parents flew in, and they won't let them even see me. It's just like, okay, I understand there are rules and procedures, but it was just like, I'm a human, and you gotta treat me like one. Sometimes they throw out my food, they throw out my cream, they throw out my pictures. I put pictures on the wall of my kids, and people sent me cards and notes, and we hung them up on the wall to say how much they love me, and they tore them down or threw them away. Like, why?
Oh, hygiene. Okay, sure. Let's boil them, and then hang them up. Whatever. Like,
Yeah.
No. Hey.
You can put somewhere in a tent or whatever.
So we
There
finally
are a lot of-
went to Denmark,
yeah.
and I was really afraid to go to Denmark because I can't walk. I'm in so much pain still. I have just completely open wounds everywhere. So to sit on a plane and to travel it's a lot. But yeah, I made it and went to the hospital, and I was really afraid at the hospital too. Like, here we go again. Like now I have to tell everything, and we. But yeah, they were so nice to me, and,
And they talked in English there? Yeah.
the trauma situation. It's
Yeah.
just so nice to be able to
that's
speak
what I
and
mean.
explain.
To be
To be
heard.
understood, to be
To be
heard.
understood, yeah.
Yeah. To be seen.
They were really gentle with me because, I felt like I was an abused animal, and I was like, when you get one,
Yeah.
you're like, you have to be very gentle with it, and they were, and yeah, since I had come from Italy, I had to be in isolation anyway, so I had my own room, and I had a big, beautiful window with a view. I could see trees and the sky. I had no window in Italy. And and they just gave me
It
food.
was silent.
There was no beeping, constant beeping. There was no one next to me dying. And then they just kept bringing me protein food. Like, here's some protein ice cream, here's some protein muffin, here's some And even the first day, because I didn't really want anyone to touch me because I was so afraid of it was just so painful all the time. So the nurse just like gently walked me through it, and I changed all my own bandages. And then instead of 3 times a week, in Denmark we did it 3 times a day to change them. So no skin was being ripped off, everything was kept wet and clean. And then I healed like in less than a week. They were like, okay, you can go home. I was like, no, I'm not ready yet. So they let me stay the weekend. And then when I went home from there, it was also really hard because then I had kids. And I still couldn't walk. And there was just, and then I didn't have someone bringing me food every time or helping me do things. I had to do everything by myself. And of course,
so you lived in Denmark
we stayed with his parents in Denmark, and obviously they helped a lot. But there were times like I would just want to take all my pain pills. Like, I can't do this. I am in so much pain. I can't live like this. It was too hard. And then you have this mother's guilt, like, I can't do anything with my kids. I can't even hold them. Like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, it was rough.
When was the point when you thought it's a smoothly a new beginning, or we can restart? Do you have still pain now?
Yeah, it's nothing like I had. But yeah, I still have it when I stand up, and all the scars kind of fill with blood, and it feels like ants are eating me. I don't know if there was like when I started to be able to walk more, I remember when I could, first time I can walk to the toilet by myself. I can wipe myself. So nice. People don't know how nice it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So there were little steps back to
I wrote,
more or less.
my mom came, both my parents came, but my mom stayed quite a while. And we would write when I could do things. I can feed myself a grape. I was like, and then I had this list going. Or I could write my name, or I would try and draw pictures because I couldn't move my hands at all. They were bandaged like this, and I had to work so hard to be able to get to this point.
Did you have physiotherapy?
Yeah, a lot. And then I really wanted to just see my family, like go back to the States. So from Denmark we flew back, but I still, was in a wheelchair in the airport. I couldn't walk that well. But that was a healing step, just to be home. And my dad ordered like all of my favorite foods, just cases of it, like from restaurants in New York that I love. It was very sweet.
I remember the banana pudding.
Magnolia banana pudding.
I was like, what is this? This is good. It was a little box. That's
And you are all together with your kids?
Yeah.
The 4 of you in America, in New York.
Yeah. But it was, at that point it was still hard. I was still changing my bandages. My mom's friend was a nurse, and she came over and she would change the bandages and make sure I was doing well every day.
What time was between the accident and New York?
Well, we were in Utah. That's where my parents live. I guess 5 months.
5 months? Yeah.
Leon's birthday, February.
Wow. And now, how are you? Still. I mean, it's still a trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Then
only been 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, COVID seemed like whatever. We're like, oh, whatever.
Or nothing,
Like,
nothing
we're like-
compared.
Compared to this, we're like,
Yeah, in a way, but it
Yeah.
also brought up a lot of trauma for me again,
Yeah.
because it was just like a trigger.
Mm.
And I felt like I had worked really hard to get past the accident. And the goal was to book 20 weddings for 2020. And I surpassed that goal. And we were really excited. We were doing really well. We started doing renovations. We're like, we have a lot of bookings. We have a lot of money. We're gonna make this place awesome. We're ready for 2020. We hired a bunch of people. We ordered a bunch of wine and Prosecco, and yeah, we had the whole bar redone. And then, okay, what's this Corona thing that we're hearing about? And we were in the US when it came to Italy, and then everything just, it was just so stressful.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, instead of all the weddings that I had worked so hard to do, we had just 3 in the end. Yeah.
You didn't come back to the beginning since then.
Yeah, kind of.
Because of COVID. COVID came after.
Because now we're dealing with all of this.
yeah, and it's still active today.
Yeah.
The COVID thing is like
Yeah.
uncertainty. Everyone is like,
We would have a huge
Yeah.
event this week if
Yeah.
it wasn't COVID.
Yeah.
Instead of 2 lovely guests.
Yeah. What are your plans? What are your hopes?
we don't have hopes anymore.
You don't have any hopes?
We don't have hope anymore.
Really?
No, it's.
You had.
You still have love.
We have, of course, we have a huge
You have
vision.
dogs.
We have a huge vision for this place, but it's uncertain. Everything is uncertain.
Everything is
Uncertainty kind of kills hope, I think, for everyone. And then it's moments like, okay, we're so close, we can do it, we had it, like boom, boom, boom.
You smelt it already once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of
We
like,
figured out so many things
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
I
we're-
don't want to just give up
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
it's kind of streamlined. It's not the best business to be in wedding, destination wedding, where you have to like travel to another country and have a wedding. But this place is cool. Like, we had a movie shot here in this October.
Oh.
All that is there.
Yeah.
We still have a good contract for like CBD oil, so we'll try and meet that. I mean, it's also hard to innovate what we're doing without any income. Normally we can move things around and kind of.
Yeah.
But we've been growing for 3 years, so and we do everything like a regenerative agriculture. So like use all when we harvest the olives, we take what's not oil and turn it into biochar. It's like a carbon, and then we put that carbon back into the soil, so it's not released to the atmosphere. And in that carbon, it's full of nutrients. It holds water. It holds bacteria. So the soil is like really full of power.
Yeah.
So, and I think if all the farmers would do that, we would reverse climate change very fast.
That's one point.
Very, very fast, because the way they do it now, it's like they kill all the bacteria and all the organic matter that's in the soil that then leads to CO2 and goes away, and fill it up with whatever chemical fertilizers.
And it's also a kind of strength working with the soil. I can imagine if we work in the garden and on the fields and the trees with the soil, it gives you kind of strength. You're near to the ground. It grounds you.
You're grounded,
You're
exactly.
grounded, yeah.
And you're active. Your body is.
Can you do as well? Can you work in the garden?
Yeah, I think before the accident, I never worked in a garden because I had too many other things to do. So I was like, I just deal with the inside and the weddings and the guests, and then someone else needs to deal with that. But now it's where I'd rather be,
Mhm.
for sure.
So working on the ground is good. And what gives you force? What gives you strength?
Yeah, I love to work with cannabis.
Cannabis give you strength?
Yeah, it's like that plant is it's amazing. Just to work with it,
Yeah.
just to plant it and like walk around in a field with all these. But just like the way they grow, the way they smell, the way like it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like it's really like if I'm really stressed, we have a big wedding, or we're like, oh, I need to.
To walk through the field of
I
cannabis.
just go in there and like I pick a little bit, I
Yeah.
smell, and like it's just like completely balance me, and then I come back.
Yeah.
So
And others, I mean, some more spiritual. Do you believe in something? Is there a God? Is there a spirit? Is there your grandfather? Is there something that gives you hope or strength?
Yeah, there's something, but I feel like the universe, that's something, and it brought us here for a reason, because I don't feel like we would have been here just to fail, or I don't know what it depend on is failing, or to like have such a horrific accident. Like there's got to be more to it than that. That's what I believe, and that's what keeps me going, is that I didn't go through all this for nothing. I know that. So just I'm not really waiting, but also still working towards finding out what that was, or what that is, and how I can, grow as a person, and hopefully help others. I would like to share my story and write a book, and I want it to have a happy ending.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Yes.
And if it ends now, it's like, oh, and then she had an accident, and then COVID came, and then their business closed. Like, and even if that is what happens, like every day I'm grateful to be here, and I'm happy that I live here, and I look out my window, and it's just amazing.
It's still your dream.
And I see my kids playing outside, and just, having a beautiful childhood, which is one of the reasons why we moved here. And yeah, and I love to work in the garden and grow our own food, and it's just nice. And if it ends, then we'll find something else. But for now, I don't think it's going to end.
no, the vision is there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like now more than ever. Like the vision is unity. Like that the logo.
Now or never.
Yeah, and the logo is like, for me, it's like it's a key to a shared reality.
Yeah.
Unity, It's like if we all agree that what we see is the same, kind of like now there's a lot of like a lot of identities people have. Like everybody have their own little identity in a screen, giving them their own little feed of info. And once you arrive here, I've noticed like, I mean, people are on the screen, they want the Wi-Fi, of course, but there's a lot more being together.
Yes,
it's like, okay, relax, let's have eye contact at least. Let's like, when we do pizza nights, people just arrive, and we kind of like, nobody have been making pizza before. Maybe at home it was one guy who's like really good, but most people's like out of their comfort zone, and that's when they come together. Nobody's like secure, and then people throw it and drop it and make calzone, it's on fire, they make it, and I have people that come out. I looked at pizza and I'm like, okay, I'm so sad for them, but they come back later. This is the best pizza I've ever had in Italy. I was like, okay, don't tell that to an Italian, but just enjoy that, because but that tells you the experience
of course
of what that is, and it's so simple, but things just happen here. We came here and we're like, the first thing I wrote on Google was the energy is great, boom. And this place has been here since the first paper I've seen is from the year 900. So much stuff has been going on here, and to me it's like a battery of energy. And we just tap into that. I mean, this stone has been here, maybe this less, but it's settled. It's not like some new crazy. You just tap in, like,
Yeah.
And people experience that.
Yeah. And you keep the space for other people as well.
Yeah.
The space is really
I'm a castle
nice.
keeper. People
Yes.
like, oh, how is it to own a castle? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no idea. You know,
Yeah.
like the 3 years I've been here.
Yeah.
Okay, 50 more years.
Mm.
And we say when when everything sucks, everything's good, but
That's
And
what
if-
he
if-
said when he met me. We were together for a little bit, but he said we were, cuddling, whatever, and he's like, and he just said 50 more years.
50.
50 more years
50, yeah.
and I was like, what does this mean? And then I remember telling my friends, because I'm used to guys in New York who like won't commit to anything.
Yeah.
And he's just like, immediately, 50 more years. Let's do it
Cool.
together.
Cool.
when you meet, you fall in love, but it's like an idea of something you are and something somebody else are, and then you start marriage, you start having kids, you start this huge castle project, you do a lot of things, and you learn love more, or you learn what love is, and you learn to love what love is. It's like you can't be like you committed. That's why people don't commit, because it hurts.
When you lose it.
No,
Otherwise-
because it's like you can't just tap out of it. It's like you're in it, so you gotta find it all the time. The love, find back to it. It's like what keeps me going. And sometimes you just wanna watch Netflix and eat Ben and Jerry's and don't like you wanna forget the responsibility, So, man, but that's not an option. That's where you find back. That's because of love. You are responsible, and you are, or I'm responsible. It's not. If I didn't have kids or a wife, or I don't know, be surfing, drinking beers, and see a lady dude, But that's love. I chose that. So that's one of my top values to go for.
There's a lot of people, if they hear the story of the accident or something, there's always some comments like, wow, he's so amazing to stay with you through that. And like, okay, yeah, but like how awful would a person would it be if he had left during that, He's like, wow, he's such a saint to, because I say, he would help me to the bathroom or he would bring me food or, the things that you don't expect to have to do for your significant other, at least not in your 30s. So, it's like just something.
Yeah.
funny
This
that-
question is a bit weird for you.
I just think it's interesting to see what
The point of
people's
view.
views are, where I guess, if they never got to experience like that real love of someone, that they felt like if something happened to them, then that person would leave. Or, I've heard it happened to some other woman, like personally, that I met through a burn survivor group, and she's like, her boyfriend left her, she's alone, and she's like,
Yeah, and
has
you know,
love.
I never thought about leaving. It never occurred to me, like, is that an option? It was like, should I leave? Nah, I have to stay. Or
Pros and cons.
I was just like, that didn't, it never occurred to me. Even Stephanie's like, oh, you're fucking all the nurses, and I was like, what? Why?
Yeah, that was the reason.
Why would I do that?
Yes, and if a very fairy would come along. You have 3 wishes. What would you wish for? For you or for your kids?
Three wishes. Yeah, I would like to share the vision with like old friends, new friends. Like to see
This
this.
is one way now to share.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Sharing.
and also like, and in that sharing is like earn or give. Like we succeed in, we're able to give. We're like to give that. We also need to earn something.
Yeah.
And
like
now we're like
co-creation.
Yeah, like now, like what should we learn? You know, like should we change, like our business strategy? Maybe weddings is not the best thing to do. I love to do weddings because everybody come here like 50, 70, 100 people to celebrate love, and every time I'm like, I just suck a big sip of that love juice, you know? And I'm like, yep, they fill the castle, you know.
Yeah, with love.
Of course, and of course we work hard and we like cook risotto and tables and clean and like run around last minute, the rain, and let's eat inside, outside. There's always something, you know, but to me it's like, it's dancing, it's like good and bad. This is bad, this is good. I'm just like above the dualism, to say it in a spiritual way. But
What do you wish for your kids?
full to be themselves, to be open, to keep themselves open, not to like now the time is like, go to school this many hours, now even like put the mask, put the vaccine, and it's like fit in this box. They're like, and you see,
And don't touch anyone, don't
Yeah.
get too close to people.
like here we moved here because there's space.
Yeah.
And like the senses, like now when I go to the city, I'm like, beep bop, and it's like it's like a snail, you know.
Yeah.
You arrive here and a little bit, you kind of, and if you've been in the city all the time, you're just like,
Yeah.
like.
That's why I do these interviews, because people like you make a difference. This is the topic, or the what?
Vision.
The vision of my Humanity2069. I had a vision in 3 years ago, no, 19, to have a look in the future, what will be in 50 years. And that's when I thought I should give a platform to people. They make it different than the mainstream. And you are really amazing, really amazing.
Thank you.
And that's why I wanted to share your story. Is there a last sentence or a last word you would share with the world? With the Swiss and German and French and Italian and Danish or Japanese?
Yeah, I would say to go for it, you know, whatever that thing is that you're thinking of and you're dreaming about. There's so many people that say to us, oh, that's my dream to own something like this, or my dream to live someplace like this. It's possible. Just
do
if
it.
somehow you can believe that it's possible, it is. And that's the only thing that's holding you back is yourself, somehow. And I tell this to myself too, because there are things that I want to do still that I don't. That it's not like I'm perfect and can say like, okay, I want to do this, so I will. You know, like my dream, like one of my fairy wishes would be to write the book that I want to write, and to be able to share it with people, and have it be, you know, if they're going through a dark time, they know it is.
Yes, and it's worth to share, really, really. And I think it's important for you to tell your story. By telling your story, you can to become a distance. Yes, it's
Mhm.
very, very important. And I would encourage you to do it really. What is your last word?
Don't do it. Stay home. Stop
What?
dreaming. It's not for you.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. That's don't dream.
I feel like, yeah, if you don't have a dream, then that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much easier that way
Yeah.
if you don't push yourself.
The comfort zone is comfortable.
Yes.
Just drink your expensive cafe latte and enjoy
Do your 9
your
to
Instagram
5.
post. Enjoy. Unless you really have the call. But if you do have the call, listen and do it. But if you just feel like you have a call and like, that'd be nice, my vision is, and then you come up with some shitty, unambitious, ridiculous stuff, don't do it. Feel the call and move.
Try to show us the
Move. Ristonchi.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Wow, very touching.
Thanks for letting us share.
Thank you.
So I would like to feel this love thing in between somewhere.